Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Come and See activity for Key Stage 2. Now, this week we're going to hone in on Year 4's topic, particularly looking at that kind of ministry, is what we call it, these special jobs that everyone has to do in our churches. Now, there's lots of people with lots of different jobs. Even us, just going to church and just sitting there and taking part, have a special job to do, because our services, our mass, would not happen without us. But it wouldn't happen as well without other people who are doing things behind the scenes. So, for example, we've obviously got the priest. He's at a height of place. He's wearing the posh frock. He is there, ready and waiting to lead us in our service, to lead us in our mass or whatever the celebration may be. We've got other people as well. So we've got musicians. Very, very important people. If you think about how important singing is, especially at Easter and at Christmas, when we have all those hymns that we know really well and we want to sing along to, musicians are really important and really bring our worship to life when they lead us in song and they lead us in worship together. Next up, of course, we have cleaners. Cleaners are very important, okay? Like, I once knew a priest who decided that on Palm Sunday he was going to ride into church astride a pony because he couldn't get a donkey, and someone in the church owned a pony, so he came in on a pony. And whilst Sparky the pony was practicing just before Mass, Sparky got nervous, and Sparky pooed in the church. At which point various strapping people with shovels started to get this poo quickly out and clean and wash down the place. 20 minutes to go before Mass started, the priest in the end did not ride the pony into church. But you see the point. Cleaners are essential, because otherwise you end up with Sparky the pony everywhere, especially now with the current way the world is. Cleaners also make our churches feel really safe, which is really, really important. So cleaners and musicians, very important people. We also have our readers. Now, one of the high points of our Mass, one of the two high points, is hearing the readings from the Bible. Because we believe it is the Word of God. It is God's words. It is Jesus' words being shared with us. So it's a really important job for the person who stands up there to read it for everyone else. To read it aloud so we can all hear the words of God being spoken to us. The readers also have a very special job of writing sometimes the prayers that we hear at Mass. So our bidding prayers, our asking prayers, the prayers that we all join in with, to kind of think about the outside world and what we as a community want to pray for. So readers are also really, really important. You've also got flower arrangers. Now, this doesn't sound like the most exciting job in the world, but actually, it's a really fun artistic job. Like, think grand designs. Like, you've gone into a very empty church, it's got a couple of statues, it's got some walls and some wooden furniture, and it probably just looks a little bit dull. And now it's your job to make it look exciting. So let's get the colours out, get the flowers, get the different pots, alright, arrange them in various different places. Think about when we come into Mass, especially at Easter, or if you've ever been to a wedding and you've seen the flowers everywhere, and how much life they bring into the church, just by those living things, just being a part of our worship together, and showing us as well that beauty and that awe that God creates in His creation, and that can be used for our worship as well. So flower arrangers as well is a really important job. The next job, of course, is the children's liturgy. Now, some of us will remember this really well, and some of us might actually still be going to children's liturgy when we're allowed to go back to church again. Now, children's liturgy is really important because, the priest has a very important job. He's supposed to be leading a kind of lesson and sharing a bit of his wisdom with the grown-ups. But sometimes he needs a little bit of help with the children, with the younger people, because we need something a bit more exciting than, just some very nice words. And they are always very nice words. But sometimes it's easier for someone who's younger to work something out through making it, or a bit of arts and crafts, or a fun game. So what the children's liturgy leaders do is they do what the priest is doing at the same time, but they tailor it to our children and to our young people and make sure there's something fun and active going on. They're maybe building finger puppets for the Last Supper, or they're making palms for Palm Sunday, or they're creating, I don't know, a cardboard donkey for the Christmas story, and all these different ways they can learn about these different stories of Jesus and start to get at learning. So when they become adults, they can then have a listen to the priest and they kind of know what he's talking about already. Oh yeah, I know that story because I remember when I was younger, we had to kind of like, you know, build a little set of puppets and like, you know, we had to do a little role play. We got to dress up as them and all that kind of stuff. So children's liturgy as well is a very important job. And then last but certainly not least is the altar servers. Now the altar servers are basically the priest's right hand men and ladies. Alright, these are very important people. I mean, they wear nearly the same outfit as the priest. They're usually all in white or all in red. Sometimes they're all in blue. Depends on the church. And what their job is to make sure that all the things that are happening up at the top, up around the altar and on the sanctuary, their job is to make sure that everything that happens there is going smoothly. Alright, so the priest has a lot to do. And a priest without any altar servers finds that he can do a little bit less. He's going to have to, I'm not going to be able to do this bit, but it's okay, I'll try and do it next time. But when he has altar servers, it means that he can get the incense out to add that smell to our worship that really reminds us all that we're in a special presence, we're in a different place. It means that he's able to have some altar servers holding candles in front of the readings. So once again, it's like, oh, something different's happening now, because look, those two are there holding candles. They're drawing our attention to what's important right now. So here's our job for this week. Here's our task. Now I'd like you guys to make for me a poster. Okay? And not just any poster. I want it to be a job advertisement poster. Okay? Right? So, what I've done is I've sent to your teachers, okay, this. It is a bunch of very, very brief descriptions of all 6 of those jobs. I've not included the priest because, you know, you can't apply to be a priest. You know, you've got to go to priest school for like 7 years, and then, you know, the bishop decides where you're heading. So priests don't really apply for jobs. But all the other jobs are always in need at all churches. Everyone always needs these. So I'd like you to create a poster for the musicians or for the cleaners. I'd like you to pick one of these jobs and to draw the best poster you can. Like, what is going to be the centerpiece for, I don't know, the musician? Is it going to be a drum kit because you want it to be new and vibrant songs? And is it going to stay stuff like St. Anne's needs you, St. Mary's needs you, we need you, can you play an instrument, do you love rock and roll and praising Jesus at the same time, and all that kind of stuff. You know, for the cleaners, it's like, do you really like to clean? Does nothing make you happier than a fresh mop ready to clean the floors? Do you really have a moment in your day when you think, I wish there was something to vacuum? Then cleaning might be for you. Alright, I want you to make these adverts. Okay? So I want you to put this poster together. I want you to fill it with colour. And I want you to advertise these jobs for whatever your local church is. So, for anyone at St. Anne's, it's obviously St. Anne's in Buxton. Or one of the other churches if you go to one of those. If you are in New Mills, it's obviously going to be St. Mary's. And Marplebridge, obviously it's going to be one of the 2 or 3 churches around Marple. So St. Mary's or one of the others. So I'd like you to create a job advert for your church. Okay? And if you don't go to any of these churches, just advertise for the church attached to the school, which is obviously St. Mary's, and St. Anne's. Nice and easy. Look at that. So, poster, full of colour, and I want you to send these into Dojo. Let's see what we can come up with and how well we can advertise some really good jobs at our local churches. Okay? So, ready, steady, go.